This is your WW3 news. Even the von der Leyen has made it officially public dominion. The European Union, Europe itself, and all these aerocrats, they're preparing Europe for war. It's not just talking about politicians or about all the military brass. Probably from the horse's mouth, the non-elected official of Brussels and all these other swamp life of Brussels. She said, the time for peace is over. We must prepare for our future, for a war with Russia. And therefore, your sons and daughters, when they have to fight a war with Russia, there's a lot of propaganda. We might be attacking to 27, 28, or even next year by the Russians. And the fact is they're spending a hell of a lot of money regarding rearming. 5% of the GMP of every European nation set aside. And the fact is this so-called democratic shield, Brussels will decide what will be the narrative, will be allowed, not will be allowed. And obviously all this wokeness, globalism, they will push it as well. And honestly, the fact is, all you may know, many European countries already considered military service for their citizens. Probably some countries that may establish a citizens' army as well. No, Dad's army, which they want to do now. In Canada. And this is a clear sign they want to put in this as a narrative. They even fearmonger as well. And the people tend to, you know, not to give, they take it as a pinch of salt. But these psychopaths, they are putting us on the wall, on the path of war. And all the consequences it has on European society, or any nation in war, basically, or preparations. They're preparing contingency plans regarding citizens' defence stuff, national health, all of that stuff. And they were probably preparing this in secret, I should say, many years ago. Because Ukraine is the battering ramp to start war with Russia. Seeing things are not doing too good for the Ukrainians. And this probably spooked out the Europeans, the globalists. And all this rhetoric, we must prepare for war, fight against Russia, reintroduce military service, your sons and daughters will have to fight one day the Russians. I think European Union, all these globalists and warmongers, they need to create a boogeyman. They need a false flag event to really wake up the European population and drag them into the narrative of a war society. Because currently like this, they will say, well, it's not in my patch, this war, it's over there. But sooner or later it will come in your patch, that war. Not because of you, because of the politicians in Brussels. And there's nothing you can expect good out of these things. Wars are very costly things. Financially speaking, and especially invest in human resources, people. And so far, how many people died in Ukraine so far? 2 million people in a war? How many Russians have they got are dead in this war? Even they got their own deaths. But the list is pretty heavy. Casualties between military and civilians. And obviously, people don't want wars. They are too busy struggling every day to make ends meet. Factories are closing. Inflation's coming high. This could be the good excuse when they actually have the occasion to create the boogeyman. This is our enemy. Blame these people because of you're in this so-called social economical situation. They will do that. It has been done before. It will be done again. And any type of society which is preparing for war or heading towards a war with someone. And the only difference is we're not talking about fighting a conventional weapon. Nuclear. Cyber wars, which is probably the most dangerous ones, which can grind to halt anything which probably military or civilian. I don't think common sense and all that stuff will prevail in these decision centres, I should say. Like the protests of the farmers of Europe. Protests practically in every Western country regarding not just this, because the powers that be do not represent the people anymore, and it's a long time they don't represent the people. They're only just there for their interests and power grabbing. And when it comes to fight for wars, they ask you to do it for them. I just hope people are wise enough and not to fall for this trick. No, we're not going to sacrifice our lives so you can make a profit on selling weapons, armory or defence stuff. It's nothing it's got nothing to do with regarding you have to be a pacifistic or against war. Against war, because wars are destructive. They destroy on both sides. It has that type of impact. And all the damages throughout the generations, it remains an impact on future societies, if this can be a future society, if this damn thing goes nuclear. I think it's only up to us if we wake up a little bit and say no. Not just, you know, plod along all day long. Yeah. Everything will be fine. It won't be fine. Because this European Union is not for European people. It's a cabal of corruption, economical corporate interests, and they want to exercise control. They're doing it now on European citizens through these various data safety acts and stuff like hate speech, freedom stuff. That is in danger of freedom speech. And they consider people, patriots, as left-wing extremists. So when it comes to war, when it comes to track down dissidents, it will be us.